In today's episode, we are going to talk about Norse mythology's hidden horrors. While most of you might be familiar with the tales of Thor and Loki and the other popular gods and monsters from Norse mythology, there are also some hidden horrors that have managed to go unnoticed by most people. These creatures are truly terrifying and will make your blood run cold. So get ready to dive into the dark side of Norse mythology and discover the most horrifying beasts that have been lurking in the shadows all this time. The first beast that we have to mention is the Hati Hrokari, or the hateful wolf. This wolf was one of the most fearsome creatures in all of Norse mythology and was said to have been the embodiment of hatred itself. The Hati Hrokari was a giant wolf that was so big that it could swallow the sun and plunge the world into darkness. During the winter solstice, the wolf would chase the sun across the sky, biting at its heels and trying to devour it. When the sun dipped below the horizon, the wolf would win and the world would be plunged into darkness for 3 long months until the sun returned. The Hati Hrokari was said to have been killed by Tyr, the god of war, but some myths say that it will rise again in the future to bring darkness upon the world once more. We also have to talk about the Svafnir, which were the serpents that encircled the whole Midgard, or the realm of humans. These giant serpents were so massive that their bodies formed entire mountains, and their heads were said to be hidden in the depths of the ocean. The Svafnir were so poisonous that their breath could kill a man instantly, and their bite was said to be even more deadly. They were also incredibly cunning and would often trick mortals into doing their bidding. Even the gods were wary of the Svafnir and only approached them with caution. Another terrifying creature from Norse mythology is the Jormungandr, also known as the Midgard Serpent. This serpent was so huge that it was said to be the son of Loki and the embodiment of evil. The Jormungandr was so long that it could encircle the whole earth, and its scales were so hard that they could not be pierced by any weapon. It was so poisonous that its venom could kill any living thing in an instant, and its eyes were said to be burning pits of hatred and malice. The Jormungandr was destined to die in the great battle of Ragnarok, where it would be slain by Thor, but before that, it would cause immense destruction and suffering upon the whole world. Let's not forget about the levers, those terrifying monsters said to guard the entrance to hell, the underworld. Picture this. They're a gruesome mix of half-dead and half-alive, with rotting flesh and jagged teeth. Seriously, they're crawling with lice and other nasty parasites, and their breath is like the smell of decay. The levers used their claws and teeth to tear apart the souls that wandered into hell, feasting on their fear and sadness. Even the toughest warriors would shudder at the thought of running into these creatures. But now let's turn our attention to something a little more avian. We have the Valkyries, the terrifying female figures who were said to ride through the skies on the wings of giant eagles. These eagles were so big that they could carry off whole warriors, and their screams could shake the heavens themselves. The Valkyries would use these eagles to travel between the realms of the gods and the mortals, where they would choose which warriors would live and which would die in battle. They were also said to be able to shapeshift into wolves and bears, which only adds to their air of mystery and menace. There was also the Fenrir, which was a monstrous wolf that was so big that it could swallow whole oxen and horses. Its fur was said to be as white as snow, and its eyes burned like red-hot coals. It was incredibly fast and agile, and could easily outmatch any mortal hunter. The Fenrir was also incredibly intelligent and cunning, and was said to be able to speak and understand human language. In some myths, the Fenrir is said to be the son of Loki and the brother of the snake Jormungandr. Like his siblings, it was destined to die in the battle of Ragnarok, but not before causing great destruction and suffering. Now let's turn our attention to something truly terrifying. The Garmr, the gigantic hound that guarded the entrance to hell. This dog was so big that it had the body of a bear and the head of a human. Its fur was said to be as black as pitch, and its eyes burned like green fire. The Garmr was so strong that it could hold back the gates of hell with its paws, and its bark was so loud that it could shake the whole underworld. It was said that no soul could enter hell without first being judged by the Garmr, and those who failed its test were torn to pieces and devoured. Let us not forget the Nuckelavee, a creature that was said to be the personification of plague and pestilence. It was a horrifying mix of a horse and a man, with the upper body of an emaciated human and the lower body of a horse. It had sharp teeth and claws and breathed a poisonous vapor that killed all who breathed it in. The Nuckelavee was said to be able to shapeshift into different forms and was known to attack unsuspecting travelers, tearing them to pieces and drinking their blood. Speaking of blood, let us not forget the Rakshasa, the terrifying demon that fed on human blood. It was a shapeshifter that could take on many forms, but was often seen as a bloated corpse or a deformed animal. The Rakshasa was said to be incredibly powerful and would often target sleeping people, draining them of their blood and leaving them as withered husks. It was also known to possess people and drive them insane. Let us also mention the Vinterblot, which were creatures that lived in the frozen wasteland of the north. These creatures were so big that they looked like hairy giants with long beards made of ice. They were incredibly strong and could pull entire wagons loaded with treasure with ease. But they were also incredibly dangerous and would often attack travelers, crushing them to death under their icy grip. Finally, we come to the last creature on our list, the Draugr. Now, this one might be familiar to some of you, as the Draugr were actually quite popular in Norse culture. These were terrifying undead beings that were created when a powerful sorcerer used black magic to raise a corpse from the grave. The Draugr was said to be incredibly strong and would often attack anyone who disturbed their slumber. They were also known to hoard treasure and would protect their riches with their lives. So there you have it, a glimpse into the terrifying world of Norse mythology and the hidden horrors that have managed to survive the test of time. From Hati Hrokari to Draugr, each of these creatures is more horrifying than the last, and together they form a pantheon of fear that is sure to send shivers down your spine. Which one scared you the most? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got plenty more videos coming your way. And as always, thanks for watching.